On the 23rd of June, the British public cast their vote to leave the European Union.
The British people have spoken and the answer is we're out.
That the UK has voted out.
The UK votes to leave the European Union.
Since then, there's been fights.
You can throw me out of this parliament right here, right now, this afternoon.
Brexit means Brexit.
And there's been promises. In this short series, I'll be looking at what could change in a Britain beyond Brexit. Manchester Airport, one of Britain's major hubs. But for some, these airports are the entry point in which they start life as a British citizen. But since the vote to leave in June, there's been much uncertainty over what the future of EU migrants already living here will be.
Unfortunately, there's been no clarity in terms of the UK government's policy. Their position remains that they wish to see the outcome of negotiations.
How may EU nationals be affected once we have left the European Union?
Well, EU nationals and their family members are allowed to come and live and work in the UK in accordance with the EU treaty. It's a right of free movement, and that mainly involves exercising rights to work, study or be self-sufficient. Many of those have not had to obtain any certificate or card to prove their right to live and work in the UK because it's been declaratory so far, but it's anticipated that they may need to do so in the future.
If Bryony is correct, videos like these will soon apply to non-UK nationals.
A Border Force officer may ask you simple questions and ask to see travel documents. Please have these ready.
Statistics released show that between September 2015 and 16, 268,000 EU nationals came to live and work in the UK, making up just 5% of the UK's overall population. But in the same period, 165,000 UK nationals migrated to other EU countries, leaving immigration levels from both sides reportedly less than before.
It's like our friends in Australia and Canada and any other property.
But despite this, there are still calls for the government to make immigration in Britain stricter.
Independence Day.
But now that the most controversial party has got what it wanted, what's expected to change?
Prior to the general election, there was no direct statement from Theresa May as to what she would do. The problem that UKIP sees with migration is that it's been, since 1997, predominantly low-skill migration, and what this country is in need of is high-skilled migration.
But according to a professor of politics, our departure from the EU will cause a hindrance to the healthcare sector, which currently employs 55,000 EU nationals.
The NHS would be much worse off. It would be worse off financially, and it'd also be very badly off in terms of staffing because we would lose very large numbers. If they all leave, we've obviously got to replace them. The likelihood is we simply have to recruit more migrant workers from other countries like South Africa, where we recruit quite a lot of nurses from already, Australia and various other places.
For the most part, immigration at the moment will remain the same. But fast forward to the future, it appears big changes are to be expected. Jim Scott, Britain beyond Brexit.